Example 6. We're going to graph each inequality on a number line and list 4 numbers that are solutions of the inequality. My first inequality is t is greater than -5. So I'm going to put -5 somewhere along the middle of my number line. I'm going to put the numbers that are lower than that on the left and the numbers that are higher on the right. And then I'm going to graph it. Now, I know that my point is at -5. If I have a greater than or a less than sign, I use a hollow dot or a circle. If I have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, I use a solid one. Here, since I don't have the equal to sign underneath, I'm going to use a hollow circle. So I'm going to draw my circle, but I'm not going to shade it in. I'm shading to the right because my sign says that t has to be greater than -5. So I'm shading to my right. So I'm going to shade in my line. And I'm going to shade the arrow at the end of the line because I know this keeps going. So to list some numbers, 4 numbers that are solutions of the inequality, I could list any number in between that's greater than -5 and keeps on going. So I could include numbers like -4, -3, -2, and -1. For the next example, I have -2 is greater than or equal to x. It's a good idea for me to switch this around, so I'm going to say x is less than or equal to -2. That way when I draw the graph, I'll get it in the right order. So my -2 and I'm going to draw the numbers on my number line. This time I have the line underneath my inequality. X is less than or equal to -2. So this time I'm going to draw a solid dot at -2. I'm going to fill it in. It's going to be a solid circle. When I shade, I'm shading to the left this time because it's less than. So I'm going to shade down this way and then I'm going to draw shading on the arrow as well. Once I have that done now, I can list 4 numbers that satisfy that. And I could pick things like -2. I can pick that this time because it's included. -3, -4, and -5. Moving on to C. C is also written with the variable on the right-hand side, so I might want to switch it. So instead of 0.5 is less than or equal to A, I know that A is greater than or equal to 0.5. I'm going to put whole numbers on my number line just to make it a bit easier. And I know that 0.5 would be in between 0 and 1, and I'm going to put 0.5 right there. Now this time I know that A is greater than or equal to 0.5, so I'm going to shade it in with a solid dot. And it's greater than, so I'm going to shade to the right. And I'll include the end of my arrow. 4 numbers that satisfy this then could be numbers like 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the last one here, we have a fraction. P is less than -25/3. So if I was to write that as a decimal, I'd say P is less than -8.3 repeating. So that gives me some idea of where to put it on my number line. So I have -8, -7, -6, -5 on that side, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, and so on. This time I have P is less than negative 8.3. So this time I'm going to draw a hollow circle at negative 8.3. I'm not going to shade it in because I don't have the equal sign under my inequality. But since P is less than negative 8.3, I'm going to shade to the left, and I'm going to shade my arrow as well. Now to list four numbers that satisfy the inequality, I could use numbers like negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, and negative 12.